Come to me!
Greetings and citations, everybody, and welcome to Versus Gaming, a gaming show where we talk about the latest news in the world of gaming, plus offer some insight into what it all could mean. Like always, I'm your host, Jean-Luque Zephir. This time we're talking about E3 2018, which is short for Electronic Entertainment Expo. To break it down, all the amazing gaming news that got revealed during E3, I am joined by fellow gamer, co-worker here at the city of Laurel, Steve Jones. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thanks for having me, Jean-Luc. Nice change of pace, get out of the office, get to talk about video games and get paid for it.
No problem. This is one E3 that we just had to talk about. To kick things off, we're going to give you both our first impressions and raw thoughts on the conferences as a whole. I'll start, and to be honest with you, Steve, I was blown away. I kind of went into this E3 because we had some leaks beforehand, so you had an idea what they were going to show.
Yeah, some of the anticipation was gone a little bit. We had a lot of leaks this year.
Absolutely. You know, when you think of Sony, Last of Us, you know, when you think of Microsoft, oh, where's my Halo, where's my Gears? You had an idea that they were probably going to show those, and which we did see. But I felt like the company showed a lot more. And what games we were excited about, they gave us also more. So I was honestly speechless. And they show, I'm a little biased because I love Devil May Cry. So when Microsoft showed that and that was coming back, I was super excited. And then we get Cyberpunk 2077. I was super excited about that as well. What were some of your takeaways?
I mean, we could just stop the show here and talk about Cyberpunk 2077 for the next half hour, and I'll be happy. So, I mean, definitely Devil May Cry 5. That's a big one for me, too. I mean, I played the original back when it came out to death, over and over again. All the way up to hard. It was hard on regular and everything else. So, definitely that one. Gears 5. I'm a big Gears fan, have been since the beginning. While you might have been blown away by Microsoft, I probably wasn't as excited about it, but I think part of that had to, what we talked about, the anticipation level was gone. A lot of those, oh, this one's going to come out. Well, I knew about it 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, the trailer was new, but the game itself, I already heard about it.
I think it made me laugh, and I'll be honest with you, because when they introduced, Gears, and they started with this like weird. They did 3 types of Gears game, like one for mobile and one
they had
for
the little Funko Pop
little
one.
Like, looked like a bobblehead.
Yeah.
And at first, I was laughing because I was thinking of all the Gears fans. I was like, "You want Gears? We got Gears for you."
Oh wait, it's this little guy, right?
This is Gears.
But that's not. Oh.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it was interesting. I mean, obviously, they started with Halo. They tried to save Gears 5 for the end because that's probably what's going to come out sooner before Halo 5. But they really caught me off guard. They surprised me because, not only are they having more gaming studios under their belt and to make more games, a lot of people have been thinking that Microsoft is they focus on entertainment so much that they forget that at Xbox's core, it's a gaming console. And you need to treat it like so. So because of that, I was actually surprised that they went more the gaming route. They answered a lot of people's concerns. And, they kept it going.
I think they really need to focus on gaming, though, for E3.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they want to focus on the other stuff, that's fine. But do that in another press conference. Do that, a different con or something else. You're at E3. It's for video games.
Exactly.
So if you're Microsoft, you can do all the other stuff. Nobody minds that necessarily, but focus on your games for that expo.
Exactly. And I really feel they did.
You don't go to this and do a cooking show or something else. You're focusing on video games. So yeah, okay, you've got the TV, video, stuff like that. But again, you have to come back to the core of why you're there in the first place.
Totally. And we've seen, especially from Sony, we knew they were going to show Last of Us. It was obviously impressive. I can't wait to see more of Ellie. We saw Bethesda. Elder Scrolls is coming down. Like I was telling you before the show started, I was happy with the way they announced it. They're like, hey, all right, Elder Scrolls 6 is coming, guys. We know you guys have been asking for that. And
now please leave us alone.
Now please stop spamming my email box. So I thought that was good. And overall, I was pretty impressed. Like overall, I mean, you had an idea of what they were going to show, but I was still satisfied.
Yeah, it was definitely better than last year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Now let's dive into the first press conference that started off E3. Microsoft's presentation was first, and they came in guns blazing, no holds barred. In all my years watching E3, this was my first time that I was blown away by the games Microsoft showed. Halo Infinite, Gears 5, Cyberpunk 2077, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Devil May Cry 5, and Fallout 76. Those were just some of the big names, but there were much more. What were some of the takeaways from this press conference, Steve? And I can't help it. It really took my breath away from what they showed. I know you were talking about Cyberpunk 77. Why was that such a huge hitter for you?
Well, outside of video games, I've always been big into games just in general. So tabletop, collectible card games and everything. One of the big ones I had as a teenager growing up and everything was Cyberpunk, the actual 2025, the tabletop game. And of course I played Shadowrun, of course that's the D&D kind of version of Cyberpunk and everything else. So that genre has always been a big thing for me. I love the original Blade Runner. I've probably got 3 or 4 different director cut versions and everything else that have come out over the years. You know, the new Blade Runner just came out a couple years ago. Of course we've been sitting on this, the trailer they had before for, was it 3, 4 years? Or whatever, that teaser with the girl being shot at and everything with the police and everything else. So this one, just out of everything else, was probably my highest anticipation. And then you throw into the fact that it's a CD Projekt Red game.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I've already got this high thing for Cyberpunk, and then you bring in one of the best studios that we have right now, probably in my opinion. After Witcher 3 and everything else, I don't think anybody can argue that. And you combine that now, and just it's brilliant. And we didn't even get to see the behind the doors demo that they showed people. So I can only imagine what is to come.
Absolutely, yeah, because I'll be honest, I always said I told you before, like, what took me away when I saw Devil May Cry 5. That was the cherry on top. All the E3 could be bad, but I was like, I got Devil May Cry 5. I was waiting 10 years, like, back in 2008, that's when Devil May Cry 4 came out.
It's been a while now,
yeah, exactly. And since then, you know, I was one of those people, you know, emailing Capcom, hey, can we get a Devil May Cry 5?
And they did stretch that trailer out to the very end before you saw Dante.
They did. They
made you want it. And, oh, but
yeah, you had to have Dante. You could not have that. And especially, you know, I think they're gonna do something different with Halo, because I know they have Halo Infinite. What would you say some of your thoughts are? Do you think it's going to be kind of like Halo 5, disappointing story? They're going to hype it up a lot.
I'm waiting for more information before I put too much, you know, emotional attachment into it. I've got a lot of, you know, back to the old days, the original Xbox and Halo and everything else. Things have kind of faded away from Halo with how things have gone. I'll wait until I get some more information on it before I, again, get too invested in it. I'm not sure how I feel with the whole kind of Destiny MMO kind of look that it may be coming with it, especially after what's been going on with Destiny 2. So, I mean, clearly they're a completely different animal, but just, I don't know if we need more games down that direction, especially with Anthem and some of the other ones coming. You know, we've already got an oversaturation of Battle Royale games, kind of taking over the market. We've got Battlefield 5, you know, Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, and some of the other ones. I don't know if we need more of that genre too.
I can see your point on that.
And sometimes we want a Halo game.
Yeah.
Fans want a Halo game.
Good story.
Yeah.
So you gotta have a good story. And it matters too, because, you know, when I played, especially you know, the new one with Halo Master Chief clashing with that other dude from the last Halo game, and they hyped it up like you're gonna get some Spartan on Spartan action. And you get them throwing a few fists. And yeah, you know, we kind of use that as a selling point for the game. So I really hope that they, you know, take this one seriously, you know, go forward with more of a story, and really give people like the Halo that they want. Because I know a lot of people who've stepped off the Halo train.
Yeah, which I'm one of those kind of. Like,
oh yeah,
so,
no,
you know, I'd like to get back on, but you're not giving me a whole lot of motivation right now.
I will be getting Gears 5 though.
Oh,
I am excited for Gears 5. You know, I was happy that they didn't kill off Marcus Phoenix. You know, I was getting a little bit scared that they were going to when they started demoing and showing Gears 4. But you know, I enjoy where they're gonna go with this one. You know, obviously you have, you know, the threat, you know, the new enemy after the Locust, and I think they're really gonna push hard. I think Microsoft knew that they had to bring something different to this E3, because I think a lot of people, especially past E3s, they've been kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
You know, they've been thinking it's more of an entertainment console. And you know, you got to go with the games first. It's a gaming console. Yeah. So because they did that, you know, I was sitting with some friends watching the conference, and you know, we were bashing it before it started. But then when they started showing each one of the trailers, especially Kingdom Hearts being there, it was like, okay, all right, I'm on your side now. I think, you know, because of what they showed, the presentation they gave, you know, it's definitely worth having an Xbox. You know, it's not just, you know, it won't be sitting there anymore as a Blu-ray, you know, as a Blu-ray player. So, you know, just because of that, you know, they really covered some track here, and they covered some track. Sony did something different for this year's E3. Instead of going the route of the usual press conference setting, they changed things up and did a PlayStation showcase, where they showed predominantly PlayStation 4 exclusive titles. We already had some insight into what games they were going to show, such as The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, Death Stranding, Sony showing Kingdom Hearts 3, Neo 2, Control, Resident Evil 2. Caught me by surprise, but the more the merrier. What were some of your highlights that you took from Sony's press conference this year?
I'm probably going to be a little off what a lot of people, because I mean, you mentioned Death Stranding. I'm a huge Kojima fanboy, so I can't deny some interest in that one. But probably Remedy Control was probably one of the ones that got me the most excited. Just, I've always been a fan of that studio, and just again, some of the psychedelic stuff with that one. But definitely Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, and Death Stranding by far the top in there.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge comic fan, Spider-Man and everything, and that was a mind-blowing demo.
Oh my God, yes. Believe it or not, you know, I enjoyed seeing The Last of Us Part 2. In terms of, you know, gameplay that they showed, I actually was taken away by Spider-Man. You know, we've seen past Spider-Man games, and you've just been kind of, you know, meh. You know, I'm not really going to pay that much attention to it. But, you know, seeing the action, you know, going through, you know, fighting the villains, it really seemed like they're taking this specific Spider-Man seriously. It's not just a movie game to promote a movie, because that's what a lot of past Spider-Man games have been. But, yeah, no, I enjoyed it, and especially with Death Stranding, you're still wondering, you know, how's it going to play. Obviously, it's open world, but there's so much mystery surrounding that game.
You got this big, huge deep dive. We still have no idea what's going on at all.
Yeah, but you know, because it's Kojima, you know, we make an exception. Don't question him, man. He's like, I make 10 out of 10, you know, games pretty much every single time I make a game. So never doubt. And yeah, Kojima definitely has my support as well, 100%. Ellie is the, you know, centerpiece for the Last of Us Part 2, as we can see. Where do you think they're going to go with her? And do you think Joel is alive?
I'm not really sure where they're going to go with her yet. Last of Us, the first one, I played it. I wouldn't say it was my jam. So I don't have a lot of investment in that one. I'm still curious to see where things go. I mean, the graphics are beautiful and everything else. Joel, I think he might get flashbacks, and we might be questionable whether he's alive or not. I think that's something they might drag out through the game.
Yeah, no, because what I could see is, if I remember correctly, in Batman Arkham Knight, they did that kind of thing where the Joker, you knew the Joker was dead because he died in the previous game in Arkham City, but they kept him there in Batman's mind. So he was still there, and you know, then at the end,
I don't know. We'll have the same she's losing her mind kind of thing, and he's actually physically there, but maybe she'll have something happen in the game that'll trigger this memory, which was between the two games. And you know, they talked about this, and that leads into the next thing, or I'm investigating this, and we talked about going here, so I get the flashback of that scene, and then that leads into the next, you know, wherever we're going on the map kind of thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, when I saw, you know, Ellie and her supposed girlfriend from the Last of Us Part 2, I didn't really mind the kiss too much, but I was kind of like, are you a little bit infected there? Just what I was thinking about. It was, you know, just something in the back of my mind. But no matter what, you know, I think they're gonna do a lot with this story. I also had a chance to, you know, touch up with Troy Baker, you know, voice of Joel, from AwesomeCon, and you know, he was telling me, yeah, dude, if you thought the first one was an emotional roller coaster, you're gonna be really, really impressed with this one. So because of, you know, just some of the games they showed, you know, aside from the heavy hitters, you know, Last of Us, Spider-Man, they also showed Ghost of Tsushima, you know, from Sucker Punch, you know, the people who make Infamous. And I don't know what it is, but we saw it with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice with Microsoft. I'm like, I'm a huge anime fan. So I love, you know, samurai epics. If you can bring them and make them good.
Yeah, 2019 looks like it's going to be the year of the samurai.
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
Got at least 3 games, and that's all we know so far. So.
No, absolutely. But I think Sekiro and Ghost of Tsushima are going to be 2 completely different games in terms of playing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, I'm pretty sure Ghost of Tsushima is going to be a lot more, little easier to play because, you know, it's Sucker Punch. And Sekiro looks like it's taking more from Bloodborne. That game looks hard.
And they've got Nioh too.
Yeah, and they got Nioh too. So it's kind of like if you had to pick one of them up, like which one you go for. I love Infamous, so I think I'd go for Ghost.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to give Sucker Punch a run first before if I have to make a decision on either one of them. So.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I've got a lot of time invested in the first 2 Infamous games.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
It was the first game I got with my PS4. So I mean.
No, it was a good system seller, and I just really want to see more of Death Stranding. Like, I really thought Kojima hit something on that, especially having Norman Reedus, you know, super popular on The Walking Dead. They made some really good casting choices. Like, honestly, if this was a movie, I'd still watch it.
Oh,
so I'm really curious on where they're going to go with this game and, you know, what they're going to have in it. You know, the mystery's there, but I'm invested, like, no matter what.
Definitely, Norman Reedus, the UPS delivery man. I mean, going cross country, just hiking stuff around from boxes to look like dead bodies. I mean, what are you doing, Kojima? What's going on? So I'm definitely curious to see how things go. And I mean, that last little tidbit they did with gameplay, going with the radar and everything else. And
you need that light when you're going around fighting those little phantom things. You're trying to avoid them. You know, you gotta stay still and don't make a sound.
Definitely keeping a lot of the stealth mechanics you really developed, especially in Phantom Pain. So I definitely see that maintaining in this game.
Oh yeah, and they're taking one step further.
But we're taking away a lot of what looks like, at least from what we've seen with the combat.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious to see where that's going to go.
No, absolutely. Nintendo definitely managed to smash their way into this year's E3, no pun intended, by revealing popular titles and the next installment of the Super Smash Bros. Franchise for the Nintendo Switch. They revealed Super Mario Party, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, some DLC for that, some also Splatoon DLC, the Octo expansion, and a surprising announcement that Fortnite is coming to the Switch. While what Nintendo showed at E3 was rather small, I don't think anyone can deny that you can't ever go wrong with showing off a new Smash Bros. Game, especially since it has every single Smash character in the new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. How do you think Nintendo did this year?
I think they probably could have just done a Treehouse with Smash and been done. They could have just done that, ended the conference, and nobody would have complained. So I think putting that in there definitely gave them a very high rank in how things went with the conferences. I'm not a huge Nintendo person. Haven't been since about the GameCube. I've moved into other games. Can't deny Nintendo's got a lot of IPs and everything else. I'm still a big Metroid fan, stuff like that. But you know, some of the other games don't appeal to me as much.
No, of course.
Smash is still a great fighter. Can't go wrong with that. And everything. Staples like Mario Kart, Mario Party, things like that. So, I mean, I think they did okay. Again, Smash pretty much sealed the deal for any naysayers they may have had. So.
Oh yeah, like I honestly, so kind of like I actually, the last system I had, you know, I had a Nintendo 64, and I was all for Nintendo. Then I got me a Wii U, and I got back into Mario Kart, Mario Kart 8, you know, the new Smash. So I didn't even understand the whole hype between having the game controller, you know, for Smash, but I still love Smash nonetheless. And the fact that Nintendo brought and having all the characters, there were some that I've missed, you know, playing in the previous games. So the fact that they're bringing that back, the fact that they are having Fortnite here as well, you know, and Fortnite goes out saying huge, very popular game. You know, I think everyone loves emos by now.
I think just within the last week, too, they just announced at TennaCon for Warframe. Warframe's coming to the Switch now, too. So you didn't already have enough popularity with a free-to-play game like Fortnite.
Yeah.
I got a free-to-play game like Warframe coming to your system.
No, exactly.
So, I mean, that's huge.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Especially since, you know, I mean, these games are really picking up steam. You know, like Fortnite's free to play, but you know, Overwatch. You have, you know, just like you said, Fortnite, Warframe. All those games that you know you can You do have to invest sometimes some money in, you know, to get some of the emotes you like, you know, to get those cosmetics for your characters. But, you know, overall the gameplay is so much fun. That's why it has such a huge and colossal player base. So the fact that they're bringing that, you know, to the Nintendo Switch is, you know, flat out amazing. And I really love what they're doing that. Smash, they also made some other changes too. You know, some edits to some of the characters, and, you know, reinventing some of the Smash abilities as well. I really did not want it to be just a carbon copy.
Oh no, nobody wants that. I mean, we don't want a port from the Wii U to the Switch. I mean, we've got a lot of those already with Nintendo, and it's great because you have a portability option. They can get away with that to a certain degree. But when you're talking about a game like Smash, everything, you need to bring something else to the table. You can't just port the last system in there. You've got to change something on it.
Yeah, and that's what I was nervous about, because I had a feeling, you know, they were gonna, because everyone, you know, we have Mario Kart, so everyone was wondering, oh, when are we getting, you know, Smash? You know, because that's when a lot of people are planning, you know, if you're a Smash fan, you're about to go pick up a Nintendo Switch either now or like when it comes out. So I'm definitely one of those people. So I'm gonna be buying me a Switch, you know, flat out, you know, the moment Smash comes out, because I'm really excited to play that. Still play it on my 3DS, but the fact that they're making some changes, I get to play the entire roster of characters. Yeah, just like you said, like, that's all Nintendo really needed. They didn't really need that to show that much than, you know, what they had. You know, everyone's gonna jump on it. You know, you introduce new Mario Kart, you know, you introduce new Super Mario Brothers game. You know, you bring Smash, and you bring at least one of those heavy hitters. I think you have a good quality Nintendo, you know, press conference, Nintendo Direct, however they want to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was good. And the Switch is really surprised me, especially, you know, with sales, you know, how fast it's flying off the shelves, you know, it's making traction, because we all know the Wii U was a disaster. But, you know, I think a lot more people are jumping onto the Switch now, even though if you didn't own a Wii U or anything, you know, before then.
Well, that portability is a big selling point, and I mean, for the people that they're aiming it for, it works.
Yeah, and you could, just like you said, you know, you could bring it with you as well. So.
You know, you get on that bus, you have to commute or something, you can play a game while you're on the thing. You know, you've got the kids in the back seat. Here you go, you take them with you. I mean.
Yeah, you saw Pokemon as well, you know, that's new with Let's Go
Pikachu, Eevee, and everything, and it's got the connection with the Pokemon Go on your mobile app and everything else.
Yeah, and Super Mario Party, I'm actually excited for that too, because, you know, I hopped off the 3DS, you know, after like Pokemon X and Y, and because I didn't have that much people who were going to invest, because it started becoming repetitive with the Pokemon games. We need something different. And now, like, I can bring my Switch on the go, you know, play more of those games, you know, at high quality, and then go back home and continue my progress there as well. Because it's always that battle when you get home, you're getting on your system or you're going to be portable. But you have both with the Switch, so I don't think you can go wrong with either.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the MMO Pokemon game on the Switch that has every single Pokemon on it that I can run around and collect.
I'm pretty sure we're going to do that.
But I mean, we didn't get it this year.
Yeah, this year.
But there's that hint that it might be coming.
Oh,
so when that one drops, you'll see me buying the system.
I can imagine.
So that's going to be the one that gets me to buy.
Get your day one.
So.
Just before we wrap up, we're going to give each one of these companies a grade for their press conference at E3 2018. Let's start with Microsoft first. What do you think is your grade for Microsoft?
Are we going from 1 to 10 on the scale? Or are we doing like school system, A, B, C?
Let's do you know, the school system, A-, B+, whatever you want.
Microsoft this year, probably give them a B+.
B+?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give them, honestly, I think I'd match that as well. You know, it was definitely above average. The plus comes from Devil May Cry 5.
They improved from last year. They definitely.
Oh yeah, and they took it seriously, and because they really brought their A game, you know, to this event, and not only with showing some of the new studios, but that they're really taking gaming seriously. You know, I'm on board. You know, already knew they were going to show Gears and Halo. Didn't really need too much of a surprise on that, but I think they earned, you know, a solid, you know, B+ grade from that. What about Sony?
Sony, I don't want to give them the same grade. It sounds, but they definitely dropped from last year.
Yeah.
They were A+ definitely last year, all the way, Gods of War and everything else. I think we fell off a little bit, probably down to a B, just a flat, straight B.
This isn't, you know, a takeaway, you know, from like the content that they had. You know,
what they had was good. It had really high points. There was everything in the middle.
Yeah, and
it
you
just
already
brought it down a little bit. It was slow. Exactly. Especially the way things started. I mean, you have that God of War orchestra and everything, the first one. And again, nothing against the guy that played the banjo, but you start with that and then move into the other
It was really
It was very
slow.
disjointed. It didn't flow.
Yeah, because a lot of people were confused. Yeah, a lot. When I started watching the PlayStation Showcase, which is what they call it, I was a little bit confused. I was like, what the? I had a feeling it was connected to Last of Us. Just because of the sounding, it sounded similar to the first one in terms of like the theme. But I was like, what's going on here? Like I was getting text on my phone, Jean-Luque, what is this?
I don't understand.
Yeah, no, exactly. But then, Sean Layden came out, Last of Us 2, and then we're going to move you to the next one. I think they should have kept it simple and kind of did what Microsoft did.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone disagrees we love the content. But the way that it was presented.
Good in theory, bad in execution.
Yeah, bad in execution. So I think I would have, and honestly, for content, in terms of how straightforward it was content-wise, I would have given them an A on content. But for presentation, I think it was.
And that's why I'm kind of dropping it down to a flat B. It's not bad enough for a C. We certainly didn't have that a problem. That's for EA and all those to discuss later.
Yeah,
their
exactly.
conferences, but.
Yeah, because I actually dropped down to a B minus. So just meeting right in the middle, overall, I'm like, gotta give you a B as well. Just from everything and from what I say. What about Nintendo?
For what they presented and everything, give them an A. Not an A plus, and I might be a little bit biased on that one. But I think for what Nintendo is and what they gave us, especially with Smash and everything else, it's a solid A.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And you also saw that during the Direct, they took over 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's
to talk about
I can't
Smash.
give them an A plus because of that. That kind of got a little old too, even for Smash. We don't need to go through every single character.
They did.
And when you have everybody, that tends to take a little while.
Like they didn't want to. I know they only wanted to highlight some of the changes, to the game, to the characters, the new additions, and Ridley at the end, which was cool. I couldn't go further than an A either. Smash, obviously, huge heavy hitter, but I just couldn't really give them more because, when you ask, oh, did you see Nintendo Direct? Oh yeah, the new Smash game.
Yeah, that's what everybody took away. Like I said, you could have been done with that.
Yeah, that's really all you needed. So, just because of that, I felt it good, like short and sweet. You gave us what we wanted, so couldn't really ask anything more from that. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for this exciting episode of Versus Gaming. And thanks again for joining me, Steve.
Not a problem.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Laurel TV YouTube channel to check out more of our awesome content. And I'll see you all on the next episode of Versus Gaming.
Bye.
We own the cops.
Ain't that something, Fritz?